Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
The Tommy's Men's Hockey Holiday Flash Sale is currently live. Get $5 tickets to see great Division I hockey action. St. Thomas battles Ferris State University this Friday and Saturday night. Go to TommySports.com to buy your $5 tickets or come to the box office the day of the game. Roll times.
Welcome to News from the Crabby Coffee Shop with your hosts, Don McClain from Jason and Alexis in the Morning on My Talk 1071, Garage Logic's newsman, Mr. FYI, John Haidt, and the crabbiest guy in the coffee shop, Kenny Olson.
McClain, how you doing?
I am great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. John Haidt, how you doing?
I'm good.
Muted? How you doing, Muted? Good.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Who's muted?
Yeah, you're muted from now on Twitter. Way too many sports tweets. I'm done with you on Twitter.
Well, mute. That's fine. You still
Okay,
got to
you
put
guys.
up with my work emails.
Well, or do I?
Fair point.
Yeah. I'm going to make us millionaires. We're going to be able to blow this pop stand and quit. I think if it goes well today, we might be able to tender our resignations before noon today.
Oh,
really?
That's how. Yeah, that's.
I need to tell Bradley, my new radio partner, which my show with him starts at noon on My Talk, that he doesn't have a partner anymore after 2 days.
Wasn't a bad run for you at all.
2 days.
Yeah, and it all came about because of last Sunday's paper, which was a treasure trove of good stuff. And it gave me a brilliant idea, and I've kind of fleshed it out. And I think the three of us, and maybe with a little help from Muted, we can get this done.
Okay.
And we talked about this a little bit on GL on Monday, but we approached it from the political angle. I'm not doing politics at all here. It was a piece in the business section on Sunday. The headline, and I'm not even going to use his name or his title, "The Viceroy of Minnesota goes bold on Minnesota." And I'm just going to read to you a little bit. Minnesota's western neighbors frequently paste tourism ads of Mount... God, I need to turn up the lights.
Oh, God, this is fantastic.
I thought that wasn't English for
so
a
we're
minute.
talking...
I
Muted just had to tell me who he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know what that meant. I'm like really lost.
Right,
Okay.
the Viceroy of Minnesota.
Okay.
Okay, now I can see. Minnesota's western neighbors frequently paste tourism ads of mountain goats or badlands across TV and smartphone screens, buses, and billboards. For years, they have barely drawn more than a harumph from state political leaders. Not today. Drives me mad when I see commercials from South Dakota, the Viceroy says. He wants to coax Minnesotans into talking more about life in Minnesota and has an advertising blitz of his own in mind. "I'm going to run ads in Florida for teachers," he said. "Come here. Yeah, it's a little colder," nodding out the window on a day of single-digit temperatures, "but we'll let you work." And then I'm skipping all the political stuff. I'm jumping to the jump.
We'll let you work.
Yeah, he's addressing teachers in this
Okay,
case.
do they not? Okay, I don't know how. Is there something wrong with them not working in Florida? Are
But-
they not working as
because
teachers?
It's political.
The
Oh,
point
okay.
is-
God,
yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
out of it. I have no clue.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
That's how I want you. Yeah, no clue. No,
That's how I want you, dumb and full of fun.
He wants you dumb, and he wants me muted.
right.
Okay.
But right away, it struck me, Florida?
Okay.
Later in the story, we've got the boundary waters. We've got a high quality of life. But I think one of the things we have always been welcoming to immigrants and refugees. That's fine. And then a little bit later, people will come here because we're Minnesota. We're not Sioux Falls or wherever. Then, in the same paper, I believe, headline, "Recruiters Explain Minnesota's Paradox." It's an old saying in the recruiting industry. Minnesota is the hardest state to recruit employees to, but also the hardest state to recruit employees away from. Minnesota actually loses more population than it gains each year. To get folks to even consider coming here is extremely difficult, said some guy. I'm not bothering with his name. Minnesota loses more residents overall than other states than it gains. Overall, the Twin Cities ranks in the top quartile. I've never seen that word in my life. Yeah, of the nation's top 25 metros at retention, and the bottom quartile of the nation's top 25 metros in attractions. Okay, so you see where we're going with those two stories.
So if you just come here, you'll like it? Is that what that means?
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently.
I did. Yeah, I thought it was a great opportunity.
Didn't work for Carlos Correa and the Minnesota Twins.
See, muted.
Oh, my God,
muted
enough with the sports.
In the sports, muted in the sports. And then in the same, also in the same paper, Sunday Star Tribune, and I think Alexis mentioned this on the Jason and Alexis show. I heard them guffawing, and I think it was about this headline.
Okay.
Gleaners gain appetite for prime roadkill season.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what a gleaner is?
Gleaner.
Only because I read that story.
About this time last year, Alan Burgo, the former and one-time chef of Minneapolis's late lamented Lucia's, is that how I say that? Lucia's?
Any relation to Gopher men's former hockey coach Don Lucia?
Again, muted.
Oh, my God.
He was driving near his home in Menominee when a yearling buck bounded in front of his car. Burgo hit the brakes and the deer, which bounced off his bumper. State Farm calculates local drivers' risk of having an animal-involved insurance claim is at 1 in 70 in our area. Roadkill often ends up eaten by scavengers or disposed of by maintenance crews, but for people like Burgo, the silver lining of animals killed by cars is their no-cost free-range meat. Heaven's manna for the modern era. Okay?
My God, manna fell from the sky, but go on.
Keep that in mind.
The deer didn't fall from the sky.
I'm driving home Monday night from the Twin Cities.
It did after you hit it way into the air.
That's true.
Came back down.
You're what now, Kenny?
Again, thanks, muted. I'm driving home Monday night from the Twin Cities. I was down there. I didn't even say hi to you, Dawn.
Oh, you were looking for me, I heard, though.
Right. And I sit down in front of the Wild game, and a commercial comes on during the Wild game for a show called Due North Outdoors. Now, the commercial was shot in the fall, so you could see the lovely leaves and everything. The ground was bare. And the two hosts said that in an upcoming episode, they were going to teach the viewers how to set up a snow camp in Voyagers Park, pause, when it's 35 below. That, in my mind, was ridiculous, along with restaurants picking up carcasses of dead animals and serving them. Also ridiculous, but something we're used to. I know a lot of people, and it's a deal here in our state where if you hit a deer, you can call 911, have a DNR officer come out, you pay him $10, you can take that deer home, cut it up, and eat it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do I have to call them? Can I just save the $10 and throw it in the back of the 2013 Dodge Avenger?
You're stealing from the state if you do that.
Do you know how to butcher a deer?
Do the state actually own the deer? Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, they do. That's why you have to get a license.
Yeah.
According to that story, there is
not
a
when I'm
license
governor
involved that you have to have.
What?
No, you just need that $10 certificate. You don't need a hunting license.
Okay.
Oh, really?
No,
you
not
were
a
hunting
hunting
with your
license.
car.
Right. Well, some states have actually outlawed eating roadkill for that very reason.
Really?
You know, you're swerving at venison.
Oh, trying to...
Or pheasants. Yeah.
Oh, pheasants.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to completely... My dad used to raise pheasants, by the way, at one point in my life. They're great, but not whenever they're hit by a Ford F-150.
My story is I hit a pheasant once, and I pulled over and grabbed it, and it was perfect, and it was fine. Then I hit about a year or two later, I hit a pheasant, and I pulled over, and there was nothing left of it, and it wrecked my grill, which cost me $800.
It's in the grill. That's what's left of it.
Right. So all of this, and I'm thinking, okay, the story with the Viceroy, and it's cold as hell, and you're going to recruit from Florida, and I'm thinking, why the hell would anybody want to move here from Florida, Arizona, Texas, Southern California, etc., right? It's lovely down there. Beautiful winters. We need to, the three of us, without Muted, start our own ad agency and bilk this stupid state out of a couple of $1 million with our award-winning and trending video extolling the virtues and the quality of life here in Minnesota. But we have to acknowledge in this video that we're a ridiculous place to live. But we've got to put a funny spin on that. And the first thing I thought of when I came up with this idea, and Dawn, you might not be familiar with him. John wasn't until I told him about it. An old country singer named Tom Connors.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yeah, Stompin' Tom Connors. And the reason I know about him is because he wrote and performed this ridiculous song called the Snowmobile Song, where he's, and we can't play it, of course, because of ridiculous legal reasons. John, can you hum a few bars or play a few bars or kind of give us a feel what it's like? And if you're listening to this podcast, feel free to pause us and look up Tom Connors' The Snowmobile Song.
I will. There was one verse that kind of caught my ear because it just sounded weird to me.
Yeah.
So I'll just sing a little bit of that. Okay. And he sings like this kind of. Well, we tip a glass to the northern lass. She won't let you kneel. She'd rather squeal on a snowmobile.
Yeah. And Dawn, it's 3 minutes of that. So I'm thinking, okay, I've got this idea. I've got John Haidt, who can write a song. I've got Don McLean, who I don't know if you remember this, Dawn, but you wrote and performed a ridiculously funny song about your private parts.
I did?
That you set to music. You set to somebody else's song. Oh. Something about your ovaries.
Oh, right. Yeah. That was about my hysterectomy.
Where'd Muted go? Yeah. Where's Muted at? Where'd he go?
He had to go, and now he's back.
Do you have to, you have to drop a deuce?
No, he had some low blood sugar issues because he's diabetic, so he had to.
Well, I can't rip him for that.
I know.
Okay, Ross,
he's going to have to cut it out of the podcast.
Okay,
no, it's fine. I don't know what happened, but that's fine.
John played some music, so you're going to have to cut that out too. So this will all be
we
can do that. Okay.
Yeah, you can do a cover version. Muted. I want you to find that song that Dawn wrote and performed about her private parts.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah. It's the worst.
No, it was brilliant.
It's not brilliant, but
so I want the three of us to today come up with lyrics extolling the virtues of Minnesota, but it's got to be really hokey. And if you want to use that same Tom Connors, yeah.
Oh, my uterus. Ooh, that's a rough key for me. That's why I don't like it. I hate the sound of my voice. But go on.
Do you have it, Ross? No, he doesn't. He's not listening.
Pardon me.
But first, we need to come up with a list of ridiculous things about this state.
Yeah.
Right? Now, think about all the things, Dawn, you've learned about this state since moving here that are absolutely ridiculous, but normal. Okay, here it is. Here, bring it up, Ross.
You are my uterus and you hurt my body up inside.
Okay.
My uterus.
Okay, that's good.
That's good.
Thank you, Muted. Okay, McLean. So that's what I'm thinking, and that's why I'm leaning on you because you're so, I don't know, twisted. Your mind is so bent that you can come up with that. John, you're musical, and you can come up with stuff. So first, we need to come up with a list of ludicrous things about the state. The first one that popped to my mind is everybody extols the North Shore, right? When it's 90 degrees in the Twin Cities, it's 70 degrees up in Grand Marais. But what they don't tell you is when it's 70 degrees in the summer in Grand Marais, the black flies are the size of mallards. Seriously. And they bite and they take chunks out of your skin.
It's a black fly on your Chardonnay.
We accept all religions in Minnesota. We're pretty liberal about religions. So I'm thinking the winters are 6 months long. We get 1 month of true summer and 5 months of skeeters. That's proof that Satan is real, and we accept Satan for who he is.
Wow. Okay. Is that a part of the religion?
This got dark.
That could be. It could be. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
We have to talk about the passive aggressiveness.
Oh, yes.
Which is real. It's a real thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Stuff like that.
Oh, well, I think you're going to do great at that.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you don't.
So we've got...
you're not even listening.
Passive-aggressive. We've got religion. Satan's okay. We accept him. We eat roadkill. Many of God's creatures, big and small, live in the great state of Minnesota. And lucky for us, we get to kill them. Maybe that's something. Beautiful little squirrels, cute little squirrels. We can blow their brains out.
Oh, my gosh.
In the winter, the lakes freeze. We set up fish houses. We drive out on the ice. We spend days, weeks, and in some cases, a couple of months of living on the lake. Now, I made Ross do a little work for us. I got Ross to look up and record the sound of ice cracking.
Why would you do that to me? I slept wrong on my neck. I feel off today. I'm like, my neck.
Dawn, this is a daily part of life on the lake. Turn it up, Ross.
No.
This is the lake. This is ice cracking.
I'm going to pretend like it's asteroids.
Did you hear that one?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of lakes, we're the land of 10,000 lakes, and we have lakes, lake names like Leech Lake, Puss Lake, Mud Lake, Phlegm Lake, the Hershey Squirts chain of lakes.
Hershey Squirts, no.
And of course, best of all, our roadkill is delicious. Okay, so that's everything I have prepared. Now we have to put all of this crap into one 15 to 30 second spot ad, something that's going to go viral. Where do we start?
What? Oh, Lord. Kenny.
I know. But if I can trust anybody, it's you two. And you both work well under pressure.
60 seconds?
Well,
so
okay.
Notice he didn't say you three. He said you two.
Mm-hmm.
What was that dead air? What happened there? Was muted talking?
I have this idea about if you just want to disappear.
Yeah.
This is super dark. You want to talk about dark? Go out in a fish house, and then no one will come and check on you. And then when the ice melts, there goes your body down into the deep.
Oh, that's how my ancestors used to get rid of equipment. During the period of history. Now maybe we could figure this in during the period of history.
Hillbillies.
Yeah, totally. Where we transitioned from horse-drawn equipment into steam and then gas-powered tractors. If something was replaced by something gas-powered or even steam-powered, when they were done with this old equipment, they drug it out in the ice in the winter and plop down it went.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh. There's actually a law, though. We have to have our fish houses off the lake by February 1st, I think it is. Or
so would somebody come out there and start checking on you? Well,
yeah. And one of the rules about ice fishing is you can't lock your fish house from the inside. That's so the game warden can burst in at any time.
I thought it was to make sure that nobody was housing in that fish house.
Well, I also have a story about that, and maybe we could include this in our song. My grandpa, many, many years ago, probably in the 70s, was out fishing, and he decided to walk over to Shorty's house. And he knocks, and the protocol here is... among all of us is you knock on the door really hard and you go, "Warden!" and then you open the door. And so he did that. He knocked on the door. "Warden!" He opened the door. Shorty was down on his haunches, dropping one in the lake.
Oh my God.
Prior to
no
this,
fish are going to come around that hole.
Prior to this, my grandpa used to take water out of the hole and put it on the stove and heat it up for coffee. He never did that again.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm just thinking about that and where it's just going to float, so it's not going anywhere. Unless there's a current underneath there I don't want to know about.
In Minnesota, not only do we fish on the lakes in the winter, but we also in the holes.
God, you are disgusting.
I know I am.
No.
So I got a verse already.
Oh
Kenny.
my God. See, I can't. I'm listening to Kenny, so I can't think about being creative.
I got a verse about Kenny's ancestors, so it may not apply anymore. It might be
go ahead, John. It's all you.
Do it.
Well, it's spring on the lake. That's when we take our old car to the lake. Then we stand around and we bide our time and we wait for the ice to break.
That's what
John,
I want. That's what
it.
I want.
Now that I know the pacing and the.
And then we're going to need a voiceover, and I've chosen you, McLean, but I've chosen a particular McLean that I used to. One of the things that I got the biggest kick out of you on Jason's show was the McDonald's lady voice you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Jason likes to play old commercials. And one of the old commercials he found was a McDonald's spot in Chicago where a lady was talking about...
Get your McDonald's land glass for 99 cents. Yeah, in Chicagoland.
So
it's
now,
very much like I'm on Quaaludes and I'm very relaxed.
So now can you somehow address the people of Florida, convincing them to move up to Minnesota so they can S in the lake in the middle of the winter when it's 35 below and you're setting up camp in Voyagers?
Sure. Welcome, Floridians, to the great state of Minnesota. If you've ever wanted to S in an ice hole, you can do that here. If you want to avoid alligators, come to Minnesota. If you want to eat roadkill, deal with passive aggressiveness, accept all religions, and sometimes deal with black flies the size of mallards, come to Minnesota.
I'm telling you, we're going to be millionaires. I was right. This is a brilliant idea.
Play that and put Kenny or John's song at the end. Boom, there's your 30-second spot.
John's writing away right now. I'm thinking he's coming up with another verse.
Great.
So it's going to have to be a donut situation, right? So John would start plucking on the guitar. You would talk a little bit. Then we'll cue John to do a verse, and then you would talk a little bit more. And then how do we end it? Minnesota. Come to Minnesota. Log on to exploreminnesota.org or whatever the F it is.
If we can do this live and string something together, I can put it on the YouTube. I can also tweet the Viceroy and include it. So
don't do that. Oh. Keep him out of it.
Keep him out of it.
Now you go viral.
Here's what we're going to do, though. This is the approach. And I might delve into politics a little bit here, but I apologize for that. We've got a huge surplus right now, right? It's like a gazillion dollars.
We do?
Yeah, we're just sitting on all this cash because we're overtaxed and blah, 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 and we need to do this and that and the other. Right. So the money is there, McLean. All we need to do is go viral first, and we can get in on some of this cash and take it as our own.
Okay.
And the state loves overspending for crap that, something that's $10, they're more than happy to pay $1,000 for it. That's my approach here. Let's steal from us, the taxpayers of Minnesota.
Let's steal from us.
Yes.
Stealing from us.
Explore
Minnesota.
That's how I pay all my bills.
Steal from yourself in Minnesota.
Yeah. In Minnesota, we overtax. No, that's going political. I don't want to go political. No politics.
Okay, John, keep that in mind when you're writing.
Okay.
What was the thing about the 35 below? I didn't understand that story. I completely didn't get it.
It's a show on cable, and they air the commercial during Wild Games called. It's called Due North Outdoors. It's hosted by a guy and a gal. And one of the promotional videos, announcements, commercials for their show was that in an upcoming episode, they're going to teach viewers how to set up a snow camp in Voyager Park when it's 35 degrees below zero. And that actually made me angry. That sounds like the dumbest idea I could possibly ever.
It's so dumb that I don't get it. Like snow camp, what do you mean? You're going to live outside at 35 because you're going to be warm from what they teach you, like build an ice cave or like a snow cave?
Maybe something.
Well, now I'm interested. I got to watch it. Well, they're adorable. I just want to say Due North Outdoors. You're probably a great show. Don't listen to Kenny.
But,
contact us. Yes.
When it's 80 degrees in Florida, don't you dream about setting up camp and living outdoors when it's 35? Something like that. You know what I mean?
See.
I'm just throwing ideas out here.
They
It's
have
up
a
to
contact us story idea /message. We have a story idea for you.
Yeah.
Go to Florida.
Move to Florida.
Move away.
Yeah. So somehow we have to make this appealing to people who are enjoying their lives, going about their business in beautiful winter weather. What's it get down there? 30 sometimes, mostly 40, 50, 60. Some days it's 70, 80 in the winter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, last Christmas, just in Missouri, it was 80 on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Last Christmas,
yes.
I gave you my heart.
Oh, I knew he was going to say. Because when I said it, I thought of the song, but I just ignored my head.
I
ignored my brain.
Muted.
I need a piece of equipment up here where I can just turn Ross's mic off. I wonder if
the funny
engineering
part
can do
about
that.
this entire scenario is he calls me muted, says I should turn your mic off. Guess who controls all the power of turning mics on and off on this podcast right now?
He's the producer.
This guy.
He's the producer.
So let's just wing it here the first time. John, just start strumming. Dawn, give us
okay.
10 seconds. Then let John sing. And then let's do 10 seconds at the end.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Dawn.
Okay. I have a friend named Kenny who had a brilliant idea. Come to Minnesota, and you can accept all religions.
Like
Learn to
Satan.
be passive. Are you going to interrupt me? Okay, let's start over.
Take two.
Take two.
Okay. Hi, I'm a Minnesotan, and I'd like you to come to Minnesota. A great way to deal with things is passive aggressiveness here. In whatever religion you are, we'll accept you. You might even get to eat roadkill.
John?
New verse? Is that what we want? What do we want? Winter time at the lake, cut a hole and poop. Warden bursts in, says hello. You just say, oop.
Oh. Okay. He meant ope.
Oop, yeah. I couldn't rhyme ope with poop.
Ope.
Oop.
Ope is fine. Oh.
Yeah, oop rhymes with poop.
Yeah.
Well, this is falling apart.
It's okay. It's been
going
fun.
as smoothly as I thought it would.
I know. Sorry, we can't just. You've given me so many ideas that it's now exploding in my brain.
Well, that's what I was going to ask earlier. Kenny, you said 15 to 30. Is that 15 to 30 seconds or 15 to 30 minutes? Because now we're at short form documentary, basically, on life living in Minnesota.
Maybe. We have sports. They don't win.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Maybe you know what? Let's take just a little break here. I want to talk to you about DK Mags. Is there any way we could figure DK Mags into this?
If the roadkill's not dead yet, you got to shoot it.
Yeah.
We have a great place called DK Max.
Yeah. Me and my friends, we all have truck guns we carry around just in case we run across something that needs to be sent to heaven.
Truck guns.
Yeah. And I learned a new phrase this morning. I've been eyeballing this chunk of ham I have in the refrigerator. And
Did you do cocaine this morning? Jesus.
One of my, and I made a tweet about it, and one of my followers said she's got a friend who carries purse ham because she never knows.
Ham?
So I'm thinking truck ham. So I'm just going to put the ham in my truck along with my truck gun. But yeah, speaking of firearms, DK Mags, we're talking Old Aid up in New Brighton. They're our full-service gun shop. A wide selection of pistols, revolvers, ammo, accessories, things like. Now, here's where Christmas figures in: holsters, magazines, suppressors, gun cases, you name it. And if you have a specific firearm in mind and you're not finding it in a store, special orders are a delight, according to the guys at DK Mags. They'll be more than happy to assist you in not only tracking it down, but then purchasing that firearm or even the accessory you want. And then on the other hand, if you've got one you don't need, they buy firearms, single units, entire estates. What do you got? Talk to them. And both DK Mags and Monticello Pawn and Gun have gunsmithing services, so you can keep everything in working order. Go to the website, dkmags.com. Both the staffs at DK Mags and Monticello Pawn and Gun are wonderful. DK Mags, Old 8 in New Brighton, and on the website, dkmags.com. John, you got something more?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah, he was listening to that.
I think the one thing we haven't touched on, and Kenny, this might be too personal for you, We have not. I think Florida drivers would be perfect for Minnesota because Florida drivers are incredibly slow, and then we're just really bad drivers here. So I feel like they fit in here.
What I noticed on Monday, and I forget about this, living out in the sticks, is people love pulling out in front of people, other people.
Yes,
no matter how close that car is or how fast I'm barreling down 38th Street, somebody's going to pull out in front of me and do about 10 miles per hour.
That's the worst.
They love doing that. Also, people that drive way too fast for conditions. Witness this morning.
Oh, my gosh.
When people are flying off the ramps and the loops and spinning around and getting tangled up in the median catch fence. So maybe, bad driving. We delight. We welcome your bad driving habits because we are the worst drivers in the country. You're right, Muted. That's a good one.
Well, thank you.
What else? I'm trying to think back of all the time I've known McLean and the things that she said about us in this state. And I know driving is one of them.
Have you ever noticed we're always bumping into each other? I think that's where the excuse me comes from.
Right.
No matter where we go, we're always running into people.
Let me just squeeze by.
Yes.
The long Midwestern goodbye, we're really good at that. We usually say goodbye for 15, 20 minutes, and then the phrase is always, watch for deer, tell your folks I said hi, and boom, the door closes. That's always the phrase. We always do that.
Drive safe also.
Yeah,
everybody.
drive safe.
Drive safe.
You be safe. Thanks for your service. McLean, how's the art scene in Minneapolis, St. Paul? Is it actually as good as they like to brag about, or is it just a bunch of dumb turnip-eating rednecks trying to act and sing?
Oh, no, this is a premier location for if you're in college and you want to move somewhere, but Minnesota and Minneapolis is known for great theater. The Guthrie Theater here, and then there's so many theaters. So, yeah. I mean, it's known for that.
So how do we put a funny spin on that? If you're an actor wannabe and you're getting no attention, and I don't know.
Yeah, you can put on some pounds and still get in a show.
Right there. That's awesome.
If you're an out-of-work actor.
If you have a face like a mud fence, come to Minnesota.
If you're an actor and you think you're good and you're not, we'll still tell you that you are. Come to Minnesota.
You really should. You got to make it rhyme. Come on, Muted.
I can't rhyme.
John's still scratching away.
Yeah, I got some driving stuff here, I think, maybe.
Okay, good.
I'd like a better verse for the last verse, but
run it by us.
You could just say, okay, folks, if you want to move here, Minnesotans drive too slow in the fast lane. They drive too fast in the snow. Some of them have lived here 35 years, by now you think they'd know.
Oh, God.
Wow.
John.
How many verses do you have like that? I'm thinking we should have
we're up to 4, I think.
So we should have a VO between every verse where Dawn comes back and sets it up.
Yeah,
so what's our first verse going to be? What was the very first thing you did?
First thing I did was
the
first thing was where the car through the lake.
Kenny's folks dumping the equipment.
Okay, so it would be McLean doing a voiceover, somehow mentioning driving on the lake and fishing, and then we'll go into John. And then what's your second verse, John?
That was the poop one.
Kenny, we're missing a really good put a pin in this. We need a really good 5-second sped up disclaimer at the end of the ad.
Oh.
Watch for deer till your folks say hi.
Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, so
John's like 10 pages deep now, by the way.
Well, I keep writing them, but they're not.
What should the opening
to an ad?
What should the opening VO be? What should that be? Addressing people in Florida because in Minnesota we love our winter sports. And then John sings the song about the ice. And then Dawn comes back and says something, we go fishing on the lake and we poop in the hole.
Yeah.
And then John comes back with that verse. And then Dawn addresses the driving, and then we come back with that verse.
Okay. I got one
we
more.
might have 6.
I got one more driving one, too, I probably could do. But I wrote it specifically you, but I think I can change it around because it'd be like, let's see, guys like Kenny's got a truck gun and he's got a truck ham. They drive around eating that and says, I don't know where I am.
I think it should just be the song. Honestly, yeah. No voiceover.
But we have to have an opening.
I think you need a quick opening and a
Yeah.
Hi, Floridians. Come to Minnesota.
Tired of the heat and hurricanes?
Yeah, and the Florida man.
Yeah. Come to Minnesota.
Actually, it should be Listen Up, Florida man.
Did you do anything about worshiping Satan in Minnesota, or that Satan runs the weather here? Anything about that? Anything about religion? You didn't write anything? Okay, let's scratch that off then. Let's never mind. Let's
never mind that one.
Yeah, let's never mind that one. And let's just have Dawn.
Great Nirvana album.
Do a 5-second open addressing. Hello, Floridians.
Yeah, I'm writing it.
Okay. And then we'll do John singing about ice.
I better tear all these off so I don't have to stop playing in the middle.
What we're doing here, if you're a listener, this is how the business works. This is the creative side of the business.
Except we don't do it on the air usually.
Usually it's off the air.
Okay.
Usually it happens like when there's somebody needs help, we'll all get together and hang out and tell fart jokes and pull each other's fingers and come up with ideas. And then you go into the prod studio and you try to start laying something down. And it's usually anywhere from 2 to 20 takes and then a lot of editing before you get the final result.
So what about, hi, Floridians? Tired of trying to avoid Florida man, alligators, and hurricanes? Come to Minnesota.
Where we recreate year-round, right?
Well, that sounds where we procreate
Where
and
we
recreate.
Yes, I was
year-round.
just going to say where we procreate and recreate all year round.
And then, John, you're going to do
Okay.
what?
I'm going to do
His song.
the songs. The one about the ice, then the one about pooping.
Okay.
And then maybe some driving stuff. And
Okay. Do the ice and the pooping, and then Don will come back. We also welcome your poor driving habits. And then, John, you do the driving thing.
I can do that.
And then Dawn at the end goes something about the passive-aggressive thing.
Okay.
And
You could
then...
end with, I have another verse that I didn't do about setting up camp outdoors in winter.
Camp outdoors.
In
Okay,
winter.
so
That'd be a good way to
the
end it
open
with
ice
that.
pooping. We welcome your bad driving habits. You'll do the driving verse, and then camping outdoors. And then, yeah.
And
Okay.
your VO there would be something about camping when it's 35 degrees below zero.
Okay, is that the end? Is driving and camping outdoors the end?
That's setting up John to do
The last one. Right?
yeah, the last one.
Okay.
I mean, we could write 1,000 of these. But
Should the sped up disclaimer be an homage to the passive aggressiveness, where the sped up disclaimer basically says, come to Minnesota even though we really don't want you here?
Yes. Yes.
Something like
And
that.
Drive safely and watch out for deer. That's going to be your part. That's how you're going to make your $50 here while the three of us become millionaires.
Okay, so I have to say, come to Minnesota even though we really don't want you.
Right. And
Drive safe and look out for deer.
And I'm going to play the role of our boss, Dan. Just sit back, put my hands behind my head and go, let me run something by you.
that's pretty good imitation right there. Yeah, I like it.
I will not partake in this. I love Dan. Dan is the greatest boss I've ever had.
Yeah.
We all love Dan.
Well,
They don't listen.
He's hired and fired me a bunch of times. So yeah.
Hey, we're in the same club.
What's one more?
We're like George Jetson and Mr. Spacely. We just every week it's another thing.
Okay.
Meet
All right.
Kenny Olsen. His friend John Haidt.
We're just gonna sit here and wait for this.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
well
that's fine.
Don hammers away. And
All right.
Geniuses.
Yep.
All right.
Oddest.
Are we rolling, Ross?
Of course we're rolling.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling all the time.
Oh, I never hit record on anything.
I'm trying to use the lingo.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't hit record, I'd still be out of here in 13 minutes.
Are you talking first, Don?
I am talking first, and John has a little...
But John's going to be doing a little thing on guitar underneath her.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll count you down.
Just start playing, John.
Hi, Floridians. Tired of trying to avoid Florida man, alligators, and hurricanes? Come to Minnesota. We procreate and recreate all year round.
Spring on the lake, that's when we take our car down to the lake. We stand around, bide our time, wait for the ice to break. It's winter time at the lake, cut a hole and poop. Ward Merson says hello, you just say oop.
We also welcome your poor driving habits.
Minnesota drive too slow, you're in the fast lane. They drive too fast when they're in the snow. You lived here 35 years, by now you should know I screwed that up.
We can fix that in post-production.
Take two.
Yeah, sure we can.
No, keep going. Dawn is next.
Okay. Don't be afraid of the cold. You can camp outdoors in negative 35 degrees.
Well, it's 35 below. Now let's set up camp and live outdoors. Don't need food or drink. You never have to go to the stores, except liquor stores.
Then, Dawn, do you have something to wrap it?
Well, I thought Ross was going to wrap it.
Do you want the disclaimer now? Okay.
I can say, watch for deer. Tell your folks I said hi.
Well, yeah, you should just finish it, Dawn.
No, you do the disclaimer.
No, you've got to do the fast disclaimer.
Yeah, you have to do the disclaimer. This is a mess.
Well, you just took half my disclaimer.
Watch for deer. Tell your folks I said hi. That's part of your disclaimer. Yes. Okay, you do it then. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Come to Minnesota, even though we really don't want you. Drive safe and watch for deer.
Okay,
Tell your folks I said hi.
See, that's even...
Okay, so we've got it all down. Now it's just up to you, Ross, to clean all that up and put it together.
Well, yeah, edit that, will you, Ross?
I don't know if we can edit the part where John's like, and I screwed that up. Well, let's try it one more time. This is a little improv acting. Should we do it one more time from the top?
Let's do a British accent like we're the Beatles. Take two.
We're from Liverpool.
Number 2 in 3, 2...
Hi, Floridians. Tired of trying to avoid Florida man, alligators, and hurricanes? Come to Minnesota. We procreate and recreate all year round.
Spring on the lake, that's when we take our old car to the lake. Then we stand around and we bide our time, wait for the ice to break. Winter time at the old lake, cut a hole and poop. The warden bursts in, he says hello, you just say oops.
We also welcome your poor driving habits.
Minnesotans drive too slow in the fast lane. They drive too fast in the snow. You lived here 35 years, by now you should know.
Don't be afraid of the cold. You can camp outdoors in negative 35.
It's 35 below. Let's set up camp and live outdoors. Don't need food or drink, and you never have to go to the store except the liquor store.
Please come to Minnesota, even though we really don't want you here. Drive safe and look out for deer.
Tell your folks I said hi.
That's it.
All right.
That's
John's like, I don't know.
There's just a little bit of cleanup work there. But I think that's it, man. We're millionaires.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'd just like to thank you for listening
to our last show.
One serious note.
If
I become, after learning to play guitar and playing for 45 years, and I become a millionaire because of that, there's nothing fair in life.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Minnesota.
Well, yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody for hanging with us and enjoying this podcast for the last, year and a half or so. None of us have enjoyed doing it. We hate getting ready for it. We hate doing it, and we hate ourselves when it's done. But for some reason, you've enjoyed it. But I just want to thank you for that. And you have just witnessed the very, very last podcast from news from the Crabby Coffee Shop. So
Wait a minute, we were recording? I thought that was a meeting.
We were just.
it's been nice knowing you so long.
Thanks for listening to News from the Crabby Coffee Shop. New episodes drop every week wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, Floridians. Tired of trying to avoid Florida man, alligators, and hurricanes? Come to Minnesota. We procreate and recreate all year round.
Spring on the lake, that's when we take our old car to the lake. Then we stand around and we bide our time, wait for the ice to break. Winter time at the old lake, cut a hole and poop. The warden bursts in, he says hello, you just say oops.
We also welcome your poor driving habits.
Minnesotans drive too slow in the fast lane. They drive too fast in the snow. You lived here 35 years by now, you should know.
Don't be afraid of the cold. You can camp outdoors in negative 35.
It's 35 below. Let's set up camp and live outdoors. Don't need food or drink, and you never have to go to the store except the liquor store.
Please come to Minnesota, even though we really don't want you here. Drive safe and look out for deer.
Tell your folks I said hi.